I secretly learned my girlfriend's language. We ended up breaking up.
No. That was so cute.
Yeah. My girlfriend is South African. Her native language is Afrikaans. I've been learning how to speak Afrikaans without my girlfriend knowing. I secretly applied for online courses that I've been using on and off for more than a year now. By the way, this comes from a good surprise gone bad on the r/OK Storytime subreddit.
I see you, man. I see you.
My plan was to surprise my girlfriend and her family with my American Afrikaans when I finally meet her parents in person for the first time later this year. I never intended to eavesdrop or anything, but learning Afrikaans in secret accidentally exposed me to sensitive information that my girlfriend was sharing on the phone with her Afrikaans-speaking friends from South Africa. It was gossip I was not supposed to understand, but eventually I did. This is what I've heard in the past few months. My girlfriend is planning to surprise me on my birthday by reuniting with her high school metal band and putting on a show for me. Whoa,
okay, that's
nice.
Pretty cool. That's nice.
My girlfriend wants to tattoo the names of literally all the Harry Potter spells on her back.
That's a lot of spells.
But she doesn't know how to tell me because she's afraid I'll talk her out of it. That's so funny. Both of these things are hilarious.
So far, I'm not seeing the problem yet.
Not seeing any problem. My girlfriend casually mentioned that one of the unexpected differences between her glasses and her contact lenses is that when she's on her knees looking up at me with her glasses on, my wiener looks much bigger compared to what it looks like through her contact lenses, which is why she keeps her glasses on during spicy sleep. Ouch. Dang, man.
Rough. Learning a lot of things we didn't want to know.
Learning a lot of things.
We all didn't want to know that.
Yeah, some fun, some bad.
Yeah.
My girlfriend is convinced that my parents are swingers because apparently there are always attractive couples hanging out at my mom and dad's house whenever we visit. My girlfriend secretly finished the entire series of Better Call Saul without me, even though we agreed to finish it together. So now she's pretending to have no idea how the show ends. Dude, this is crazy.
This is classic.
My girlfriend is thinking about canceling the high school metal band reunion for my birthday because she's no longer sure if it's appropriate to team up with two of her exes that are original members of the band. Dude, this is so funny.
This is so funny.
My girlfriend
man.
expects her
Wow.
dad not to like me. I would have preferred not knowing most of those things, to be honest. But there is no way for me to unlearn Afrikaans, so now I'm cursed with knowing too much while having to pretend I know nothing. Some comments. Monsters in my wardrobe says, the punishment for forbidden knowledge is knowing. LOL. Keep it a secret. And when she asks you about it, just say, I'm speaking Afrikaans the whole time. OP responds, or I'll deflect and just be like, Better Call Saul. Is there anything you'd like to tell me, honey, sweetheart, light of my life?
I like that OP's like focus is like, yeah.
Yeah.
Been watching Better Call Saul without me.
Noon Dread says, watch Better Call Saul to the end, look at her and say, that was really good. In Afrikaans. That's funny. Global Cattle 6285 says, that wasn't all that bad. Honestly, thought this was going to be much worse than it was. OP responds to that, far away from CBAT and nowhere near the coconut dude lies my mild F up.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what any of that means, but if you do, tell us in the comments.
Sorry, I don't speak Afrikaans.
Yeah. But we do have an update 4 months later. The following happened since my original post. I asked my girlfriend to marry me in Afrikaans, and she said, I really hope, I don't know how to say that perfectly, but basically she agreed.
She said yes, in Afrikaans.
Yeah. I delivered my I want to spend the rest of my life with you speech in Afrikaans, which surprised and impressed my girlfriend, aka my fiance. As soon as my girlfriend became my fiance, I casually mentioned that I've been secretly learning her native language and accidentally been eavesdropping on several phone call conversations she had with her Afrikaans-speaking friends about things I was not supposed to understand. Like, for example, her feeling conflicted about reuniting with her original high school band members for my birthday because the band apparently included two of her exes, or the fact that she wanted to tattoo literally all of the Harry Potter spells on her back, or that she finished Better Call Saul without me, or that she thought my mom and dad were swingers, or all of the reasons that we previously heard, including some of the stuff that she said to her friends after my original post. Like how she was struggling to get used to my braces because the braces in my mouth plus the freckles on my face somehow made me look underaged and low-key made her feel like she's my older sister when we're out in public. My fiance was embarrassed when she realized how much Afrikaans I was able to understand and apologized if she made me feel uncomfortable. I accepted her apology even though it wasn't necessary. Well, except for finishing Better Call Saul behind my back, that was a playing with fire moment in our relationship, almost unforgivable. My fiance got one of the Harry Potter spells in her back. Erecto Patronum. Oh, I'm kidding. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that. I would have
said
said something.
I know. I was like, I stole that from another story. My fiance is still considering getting her back tattooed. I said it was her choice, but I advised her to avoid covering her entire back with Harry Potter spells, like she's some kind of Death Eater Michael Scofield. My fiance might be right about her dad not liking me because his expression of disappointment and dread when he heard the news of our engagement was priceless. That said, I'll win him over though, even if it kills him. Jokes. My fiance fully believes my parents are swingers based on the different couples she's occasionally observed coming and going whenever we visited mom and dad. She wants us to investigate my parents because for some reason it's fun for her to imagine me being the son of a mom and dad whose spicy sleep life is far more spicy than mine. I'm not interested in opening that door though because I don't want to know what goes on in my mom and dad's bedroom. However, something tells me that my fiance will not rest until she has all the answers. I made it clear to my fiance that I had no problem with her reuniting with her high school band to perform at my birthday, unless it was uncomfortable for her that her exes were a part of the band. My fiance ultimately decided to cancel the band because of behind-the-scenes drama. The drummer, who was one of the exes, apparently gained a lot of weight after high school and lost all confidence to perform in the band. Aw. The lead guitarist, aka the other ex, was only willing to participate if my fiance agreed to play covers of gospel songs since he was now saved and no longer interested in playing the devil's music. The bass guitarist wanted money.
Dang, man. That
so
band
funny.
fell apart.
Oh my gosh. My fiance still wears her glasses during spicy sleep. Edit to all the comments saying this is a repost. It's not. It's an update of my original post from a few months ago. Check my history. It's my story. There are some comments. SRS Goblin says, the bass player knows what's up. Never play for free. Musicianship 101. Not So Holy Mary says, none of these things seem to be very damaging to a relationship. Your girlfriend actually seems considerate, wanting to surprise you, but not knowing if it will hurt you and worrying about how her family will like you. Could be a heck of a lot worse. And of course, never worry about the wiener thing. Not the size, but how you use it, right? Am I right? Kamikaze TM says, except that she watched all of Better Call Saul without him. That's just downright rude.
True.
Update number 2.
Ooh,
there's a second update.
Wait, there's more?
There's more.
Everything's perfect, though.
Uh-oh. Do we have any final thoughts before we move on?
I think everything's perfect.
I think everything's perfect. We should just stop right here.
We should stop.
But
I'm really worried.
There's another update.
Oh, no.
Last time I was here, I shared an update related to my original post, but I deleted that update because I was keen to tell the internet, aka all of you, that my girlfriend and I got engaged.
No.
However,
No.
However, since then, we've not only gotten ourselves unengaged, but we've actually broken up. No. In my original post, my ex-girlfriend, who was still my girlfriend back then, had a wild theory that my mom and dad were swingers just because they always had people at their house. Uh-oh, this is the thing that ruined it? I never believed it, but I thought it was hilarious that someone thought my parents were that interesting. Not gonna lie, I struggled to move on after my relationship ended. My apartment had too many memories of my ex, so I called my parents to ask if I could stay with them for a bit, just to clear my head. I don't like how this is going so far.
Wait, why did you guys break up?
Well,
You just said, like, after we broke up.
yeah, I don't know. But it
We
did.
were about to get engaged. What happened?
Yeah, what happened? Please. But my parents said yes. My dad offered to pick me up, which I accepted. What should have been a 10-minute drive unexpectedly turned into a 45-minute drive because my dad decided to take the longer route back to his house. When my dad was done making dad jokes to help me get over my breakup, he started doing that weird dad thing where he's trying to bring up an awkward topic, but it's too uncomfortable for him to just spit it out, so he ends up saying a bunch of words that only he understands. I see you. I don't like where this is going. Oh boy. I was forced to interrupt my dad and basically beg him to make sense. My dad said since it was unclear how long I was going to stay, he felt compelled to prepare me for what I might see at the house. If my ex was present at that moment, she would have punched me on my shoulder and said, I effing told you, because my dad confirmed her swinger theory.
Dude.
Which no longer made it a theory, but the truth, or as I like to call it, trauma. Oh my goodness.
If you guys ended on good terms, I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine you did because it was a broken engagement, but I would go tell her.
I would totally.
I feel like I have to tell you.
This is so random. You don't have to respond, but you were freaking right.
You were freaking right. My parents are swingers.
Oh my gosh. By the time my dad and I finally made it to our destination, my dad made sure I knew everything I needed to know. I made a list based on what I learned from my dad. Both my parents were swingers when they met. Swinging was not something that my parents wanted to do while raising kids, so it was prohibited while my parents became parents. To see if they still got it, my parents switched back to swinging when they had the house to themselves again, and lo and behold, they still got it. Okay. Hosting swinger parties was something my parents did frequently, usually with themes. Cute. My parents were planning to host another swinger party, but my mom was leaning towards calling it off so that I could come home and stay for as long as I wanted. If my parents were forced to cancel, it would be the first party that they called off since the vid. The theme was prom night. I never expected my dad to go that hard in the too much information category. But as soon as he crossed that threshold, he got it all out of his system. I stayed with my parents for a total of 2 days before it came abundantly clear to me that knowledge might be power for some people, but for me, knowledge was effing punishment. My mom, who was unaware that I low-key knew that she was a swinger mom, attempted to convince me to stay longer, and she almost succeeded, but I was just done with my dad using our father-son bonding time to play guess which one of our neighbors are also swingers. No. Oh, gosh. I used an Uber to get back to my apartment. No more dad rides. I've never been so happy to return to a place that was haunted by my failed relationship. Oh my goodness. You know what I do know is that you can listen to full episodes with more stories just like this one. Just search OK Storytime on your favorite podcast app, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, whatever you choose. We'll be there.
We'll be there.
My ex and I broke up because of a tattoo. Her friend passed away, which promoted her to literally get his name tattooed on the back of her neck. The friend was someone my ex used to sleep with before she met me. Whoa.
Ooh.
I made it clear to her prior to the tattoo that I understood that it was her body to do with whatever she wanted, but as someone who was prepared to be with her forever, it was going to be uncomfortable for me to see another guy's name on her body for the rest of our lives, especially the name of a guy that passed away that she had a casual spicy sleep with. My ex got the tattoo anyway. The tattoo was small and barely visible. That was her defense. I knew it was there. That was enough. It was also very effing visible in certain positions. We argued about the tattoo until we eventually said enough hurtful things that could never be unsaid. Clearly, the tattoo was worth losing me because the tattoo is still there and I'm not. Well, not much you can do about getting rid of the tattoo. And there are some comments. Second Creative says, I can't stay here. Too many sad memories. 2 days later, save me from the horrible things I now know. Sad memories. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. OP responded, I'm gladly relieved the pain of my relationship getting napalmed. Then listening to my dad make up synonyms for swingers like no monogamo. The Real Six says, don't tell your ex the no monogamo. She might add it to the list of spells she wants tattooed on her back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Relevant Reference says, how much of their decor is pineapple themed? OP says, a few comments in my previous posts made me aware of the meaning behind the pineapple in the swinger community. So I've actually been on the lookout for anything that so much as remotely resembled a pineapple whenever I was with my parents. But to this day, no pineapples. That being said, based on what I know now, thanks to my father, I actually won't be surprised if my parents were literally living in a pineapple house like SpongeBob's that only other no monogamos could see. And that is the end of that story.
Man, what a turn in this story.